The time is just gone 9:20 a.m. and the Miss Universe pageant that is due to be held in Israel next month has become a major talking point, a subject of huge debate, but also at the same time for solidarity organizations like Africa for Palestine, the Palestine Solidarity Alliance, and the Tripartite Alliance, intense lobbying that has been taking place together with other civil society organizations and citizens that at the end of the day, South Africa should not be seen to endorse human rights violations against the people of Palestine. And with all the lobbying that has taken place, we have witnessed that the South African government unprecedentedly and formally withdrawing support for Miss South Africa's involvement at the Miss Universe pageant. We joined on the line this morning by Ahmed Jazbhay, who is a lecturer in political science at UNISA and also a researcher at Media Review Network. Brother Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran for having me.
Yes, Jazakallah for your time. Now, while we welcome the South African government unprecedentedly and formally withdrawing the support for South Africa's involvement at this pageant in Israel, we know that there's still a lot more that needs to be done. But clearly, it is quite a positive step, and together with all the organizations that have worked tirelessly to lobby government to take this position and the stance.
Yes, it's most certainly a step in the right direction. And we were wondering, when this story first broke, what the South African government will do, because there is nothing stopping, Miss South Africa from traveling to Israel. We do have diplomatic relations. So it is most certainly a positive step. It's most certainly a step in the right direction. But, as with many things in South Africa, we are very good with our policies. We are very good, but when it comes to implementation, we are very good with rhetoric. But when it comes to taking meaningful action, it is there that we fall short. But with that said, Minister Nakin Tetwa and his Department of Sports, Arts and Culture must be commended for the stance. Miss South Africa, if she does indeed go, will not have the flag flying of this country flying in apartheid Israel. So it's definitely a positive, but unfortunately, we need to follow these positives up with meaningful action.
Yes. Now, Brother Ahmed, what does this mean for the organizers, the South African organizers of the, as far as the pageant is concerned, but also looking at the position of the participant that is likely to take part in this event?
There is nothing stopping the incumbent Miss South Africa from traveling to Israel. There are no travel restrictions on any South Africans traveling to Israel, and certainly not for an event of this nature. So there's nothing stopping. And so by the looks of it, it appears that she still go ahead, but there's still time for the organizers to change their mind. But what it does mean is that the flag of South Africa, she will not be going under the South African banner, since the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture has, and the government, in fact, has withdrawn its support. So it means that she is simply just going there to make up the numbers. Even if she ends up winning the competition, it will not be something in which the South African government will be proud of, or with the support, or would use as a PR exercise, as we see in many of the instances. So she's simply just going there to fulfill, as she said, a lifelong dream, but unfortunately, it will not be under the South African banner or anything, and she's not being issued with a diplomatic passport. Usually, these sort of events, many people are issued with diplomatic passports. Not in this case. As she will not be representing government, she will not be representing South Africa, or anything. She'll be representing the Miss South Africa organizers.
Now, what has come out of this is also the spotlight and the radar on Miss South Africa and the CEO of Miss South Africa. And there are these clouds of suspicions hanging, talking about vested interest on the part of the CEO.
Yes, the CEO, Stephanie Wheel, is also the CEO of a company that works with the Jewish National Fund. And as we know, Jewish National Fund is a pro-Zionist organization that actively collects money and so on to ethnically cleansed Palestinians, both in Jerusalem, the West Bank, and all of historic Palestine. So it appears that she, up until now, I've tried to check, but she has not responded to these allegations. They are definitely true. She is a CEO of a PR agency that both works with South Africa and the Jewish National Fund, but that points to a clear conflict of interest on the part of the CEO and the part that she stands to personally benefit from South Africa. She stands to personally benefit from apartheid Israel, and it calls into question a lot of her insistence, Stephanie Weil's insistence, and important that we that we not this about the incumbent Miss South Africa, but rather the Miss South Africa organization. This is not personal against Miss South Africa incumbent, but against the Miss South Africa organization. It's clear that there are vested interests, and these vested interests cloud make sense why she has been so vociferous in her insistence that Miss South Africa will participate in apartheid Israel. Many media houses have attempted to follow up, but she has not given any response. And her one media interview that she did do, when she argued that Miss South Africa is not a political organization, and Miss Universe is not a political event. I mean, we all know Miss Universe is hosted, is owned by the Trump organization. So, I mean, that was started brings equality, but we all know now why she was so insistent, despite governments engaging with the Miss South Africa organization, why the Miss South Africa CEO was so insistent on participating, despite clear evidence that such participation will harm brand South Africa, and such participation would harm government standing on the Palestinian-Israeli situation.
Yes. Also, Brother Ahmed, I'm certain that there will be some sort of response. There will be a backlash against the South African government's decision by the likes of the SA Zionist Federation and the South African Jewish Board of Deputies.
Yes, I mean, that backlash is well documented. Both organizations have come out in opposition with South Africa's, in opposition to South Africa's position, and it's the usual situation, to argue that South Africa is being partisan and pointing to government double standards and inconsistencies. It's unfortunate that given that our government's major shortcoming in the sense that we tend to talk left and walk right in many situations, that many of these organizations, the pro-Zionist organizations, tend to jump on that bandwagon. I mean, they quickly pointed to the alleged corruption of funds that were meant for artists COVID-19 relief funds. So they usually they are masters in deflection and point out government inconsistencies. But at the same time, what solidarity organizations must push for is that government must ensure that government is consistent, and government must move beyond just mere rhetoric, but rather move towards the application of the sanctions, the severing of diplomatic, cultural, political, economic ties. But those are well documented. Despite us not having an ambassador in Tel Aviv for many years, I mean, the military and economic cooperation it keeps increasing year on year. So it's time that government actually moves on to ensure that these well-funded lobby groups, well-funded Hasbara organizations based in South Africa, be it the South African Friends of Israel, South African Zionist Federation, and the South African Jewish Board of Deputies, do not have a leg to stand up. But as long as there's doublespeak, as long as the South African government speaks with a forked tongue on this issue, they will keep giving these organizations the lobby or the leeway in which to poke holes in government's stance and to deflect attention to other issues.
Yes, and this double talk is clearly demonstrated by the punitive visa restrictions on Palestinians, while Israelis are free to come and go.
Yes, that that issue has been going on for a long time, and organizations who are attempting to challenge this have been thrown from left to right. Given that the matter is a home affairs matter, no, and then who has to say the DIRCO matter? DIRCO would say it's a presidency matter. The presidency will say it's state security agency matter. You get keep put from keep being pushed from pillar to post. And no government department wants to take responsibility for the issue. You claim you are in solidarity with the Palestinian people, but it is not pressing which you should give visa-free access, not just access, but visa-free access, come and go. Palestinians have to, apart from the map holders, have to, have their own requirements. They have to prove, medical insurance, return tickets, the usual, if you travel to Europe, there's a long laundry list of items that you need, to travel there. It's the same for Palestinians wanting to travel to South Africa. So, so this issue has been going on, and the government is just not wanting to engage in this issue with solidarity organizations, and it appears that this issue, that's why we call on the South African government. For starters, show your basic level of solidarity. For starters, lift those visa requirements. Just for starters, you claim to be a friend of the Palestinians, yet you allow them, you put so many loops, so many restrictions on them to travel to South Africa that many end up not being able to travel to South Africa.
Well, Brother Ahmed, Jazakallah khairan for that update and for your time with us this morning on News and Views on Salam Media. We thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ahmed Jazbhay joining us this morning, lecturer in political science at UNISA and also a researcher at the MRN.
These